Hello, boys and girls, this is Anders here, of course, and welcome to some Battlefield 3 gameplay. We got ourselves some Devon Peak, and I thought I would use the G3A3 a little bit, the workhorse. This gun that basically the Swedish army used to use. We used a gun that was called the AK-4, now we use a gun that was basically the G3A3, and now we use a gun called the AK-5, and that is basically like an M16. It got the 556 instead of the 762 like the G3A3 and the AK-4 have. So pretty beastly gun. I actually shot it in real life with my uncle, the Swedish champion in submachine shooting, and my dear but now sadly deceased grandfather who was Swedish champion many times at shooting pistol, not submachine guns, but just pistol, like 22 and 9mm and stuff like that. And I don't know, it seems like their good genes kind of rubbed off on me, because I'm a pretty beast at shooting as well. No, I'm actually not. I'm not that good. It takes a lot of practice and training. You can't just inherit like good aim and good shooting skills. I mean, that's just impossible. You can't absolutely not do that. But you can inherit a lot of other things. For example, like you can actually get brown eyes even if both your mom and dad has blue eyes, because brown eyes are dominant and they can actually skip a generation and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it can, though. Don't hold me to that, though. I'm not 100% sure. I have a pretty funny story for you guys, or a very short one actually. I have this very, very dear childhood friend, Michael, or Mikael, his name is, and we were best of pals as kids. You guys probably heard me tell the story about how we met and how we started at my school and how we became friends and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna go over that or anything like that, but we was great friends, and something kind of started bugging me after a year or two. Like, I noticed that his sisters, they both are very blonde, and he as well. All of them have blue eyes. Even his mother has blue eyes and is blonde. His father has blue eyes. I don't know if he's blonde. I would say he has kind of brown hair like me. But his brother has brown eyes and red hair, and I was always like, that's so kind of weird. I mean, I wonder why it's like that. Like, why does his oldest brother look different? And of course, I was just a kid. I was like 8-9 years old, so you didn't really know that much about like people having children before they got married, or having children with one partner first and then with another one. I mean, that is not super common after all. I mean, and especially for a kid to think about it. But one day at school, we were actually talking about this, how you inherited the colors and stuff like that. And I basically came to the conclusion that it's freaking impossible that he would both be red-headed and have brown eyes, green eyes, I think, even. I'm not 100% sure. I don't look other dudes in the eyes that much. It's kind of creepy if you do it too much. People are gonna start wondering, like, does that Anders ale, does he maybe like the sausage? Does he like the taste of sausage in his mouth? And if you don't do that, that's not a good thing to have people think about you, because then you won't get laid, then you won't get to touch some boobies and stuff, and I like myself some boobs. Especially women the boobies are attached to. I don't care that much for man boobies, because if I did, I would just fondle my own man boobies, since I am kind of fat. I mean, you guys seen me, I made so many vlogs and so many face cam videos and so many face cam streams, so you guys should know I'm kind of fat by now. It shouldn't come as a surprise, but I'm not obesity fat, of course, luckily. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about my bad food habits here. We're supposed to talk about how I figured out that my best friend's brother was actually not his brother. Now, this is actually something his parents never basically talked to him about. I mean, they either they didn't want to talk about it, or they saw no reason to, because it was his brother, they grew up together, they had the same mother, of course, but of course not the same father. The father, of course, was a real redhead, a real ginger, a real no-soul ginger. I'm sorry, Tapes, if you're watching this, my bad. He thinks he's strawberry blonde. Oh, Tapes. Oh, you clueless ginger. No, I'm kidding. I kid. No, don't get mad, Tapes. I don't think Tapes watches my videos anyways. I can't even watch half of his videos. I do always make sure to watch his Ask Tapes show though, because that is fucking funny. That's some well thought produced shit right there. Really fun to watch. But anyways, so after seeing this at school, I was kind of thinking like, yeah, it's kind of impossible that he could be his full-blooded brother. Of course, he's his brother, probably, or he might be adopted as well. But I was like slowly like realizing here that, wait a second, something is not really right. So I actually went ahead and told my friend about this the next day at school. I said like, are you sure your brother is actually your brother? And that's such a nice headshot, the G3A3, awesome gun. Sadly I get shot in the back so I can't get the chopper. But yeah, so I basically asked him, he's like, yeah, of course he is. And like, but obviously something stuck in his head when I asked that, even if he said obviously. So he actually asked his parents the next day, and long and behold, his mother actually had a child with a man before she met his father. And basically they since that father didn't really come into the picture, I guess, my friend's father and of course his biological mother then just took care of him like it was his own, basically. And my friend never knew anything about it, never thought about it, because he was his brother, and that was just that thing. And that's kind of my red line, or whatever you want to call it in this commentary, is like, family doesn't actually have to be family by blood. I mean, if I would find out tomorrow that my brother actually isn't my biological brother, I would not care. I mean, the chance that he isn't is I mean, slim enough. If you guys watched the 100,000k subscription video, I mean, he basically looks exactly like me, just with less hair and less beard, simply because he shaves his head and shaves his beard in another way than I do. And of course he does, because why would he want to look exactly like his big brother? It's not like I'm that awesome. You guys might think I'm awesome, but he doesn't think YouTube is that awesome. I mean, to him, YouTube is YouTube. It's not something super serious or stuff like that. It's something you do for fun. But luckily, that fun is my job, and I can consider myself pretty goddamn lucky. I do enjoy my job a freaking lot. I fucking love it. But as I said, even if I found out tomorrow that, no, I'm not even related to him, I would not give a shit. Because I don't only consider him my brother, I consider him my absolutely best friend and absolutely most trustworthy friend. And in my book, that is kind of the same thing. A person I know I can trust, like with my life, that person I'm gonna consider as a very good friend, because that is kind of what a friend is. A friend isn't a guy that always drives you to the airport and shit like that. Of course it's nice if a friend does that, but it's not like required of a friend to do something like that. A friend is required to always be honest with you. Like, don't bullshit you, unless it's of course like joking or something like that, just for fun, a little bit of joking. And god damn it, did I say joke right now, like egg joke? Oh, yeah, I think I did. God damn it, I can see the comments in front of me. I didn't know. God, I shouldn't even said. I should have just edited it out. Ton of a bitch. This was a good comment there. Never mind. And also, I want to point out, as you see there, it's not very even teams. This was just the best gameplay I could come up with. I know it's kind of like poning noobs. I know I'm a bad man, bad Anders. You shouldn't pwn the noobs. It's uneven teams. I should have changed teams really. But it's just been so much going on now lately. So I thought that, yeah, you guys are gonna get a decent gameplay, but I'm gonna try my best to make the commentary very, very interesting. And that's also the kind of thing like with, sure, he isn't your real dad, but if he have taken care of you and considers you his son and he loves you like he would be your real dad, I mean, what is to say that's not basically the same thing? I mean, to him it's actually not the same thing, because you're not actually his offspring, but to you it should not matter. If he's not your real dad by blood, I mean, it really should not matter. Because, I mean, even if I found out that my dad is not my real dad, I would not care, because my dad is so freaking awesome. I mean, I can't say that he's like over loving. He's never been one of those hugging dads that like say he loves you all the time and stuff like that. I can't claim to that he's like that, but he's always taking care of me. He's always been reliable, and that just like with a good friend, that's how a good parent is. A good parent gives his child comfort and is reliable. You can, like, when I was a kid, if my dad said, yes, we're gonna do that, or yes, I promise I'm gonna do that, you could bet your sweet ass he would do that. If he would not do it, then it would be a dream. I mean, it would literally be a dream. I mean, he was always very straight with me. Like, for example, if we had some kind of play at school, and I was like, Dad, I really want you to come, can you please try to come? And basically his answer then was, yeah, son, I will try to come, but the chance that I will come is very small because I do have to work a lot. And my dad did work a lot when I was a kid until he got what's called diskbrock in Sweden, basically, when your back kind of gives out on you. And because he kind of was a manager at basically a lackeringsfirma, basically like a paint firm or something like that. I don't really know how to explain it in a good way, but that's the best way I can explain it, at least. And the same thing there. I mean, my mom has always been extremely loving. I mean, I love my mom. She is awesome. My dad has not at all been that loving, but he has been so reliable. I mean, when you were around him as a kid, like, if the thunder was going, I mean, you felt so safe sitting next to him in the couch, even if you were shit scared of the thunder, because he just was a badass dude that you were safe with. I mean, when I went out in the forest and stuff like that, I would like make up like scenarios in my head how a bear would attack us, and he would take out his, as we call it, morakniv in Sweden, and basically like slit the throat of the bear, and then we would have a bear trophy on our wall the next day at home. So I mean, like, that's how high thoughts I had about my parents as a kid. I mean, I freaking love them. They're awesome parents. They've always been there. I mean, I didn't have it rich growing up. When my dad like busted his back and stuff like that. I mean, money was tight. Like with most people right now, like most families have it tight with money right now. Before that, I mean, money was good overall. Like most families in Sweden had it really good. Also, just like 10-15 years ago, when the economy was a lot better. So I mean, like, that's kind of the point with all of this. Like, I can understand if people want to find their like biological parents, if they're so to say adoptive parents, or the ones taking care of them haven't been that nice to them. But if they've treated you well, you should never really care about your real parents, so to say, your blood parents, because the parents taking care of you are your real parents. So yeah, that's kind of my point. I hope you guys liked the gameplay. Please leave a like if you liked the commentary. I know the gameplay was like, I know, a little bit of noob ponage. Sorry about that, all the noobs in the enemy team. But as usual, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like. Have an awesome day. Bye bye.